see if this updates again. Alright, sweet, so it's already working. I'll just wait until we have a few people in here. I guess I should have had someone else be playing right now. That's probably my computer fan. I'm really surprised that's picking that up. It was doing that the whole time that we were doing that earlier, so I don't know why you're just now hearing it. Probably because you were focused on other stuff at that point. You dudes that are already in here, I'm gonna start this in about 3 or so minutes. Just give people some time to get in here. Ooh, my fan just like kicked up a ton. My fan's just like, come on, son, you know I can't do this. Dang, now it's dropping frames though. Come on, son. Why you gotta do that? I mean, it's only 1.3%, but why is my bitrate higher? I didn't change anything. What am I doing differently? I don't know what I'm doing differently that made my CPU go like stupid high, but I haven't opened anything new. Oh, I have. Xbox message. Well, I doubt that alone would do it. I'm gonna open volume mixer here. Ogre wanted. I'm turning you guys down, so I'm not gonna be able to hear if you try to talk at me. I'll mute my mic too, so you don't get confused. I'll BRB. Alright, so turn that down, and then turn my mic off. On that. On turn that audio back on, but I don't need it that loud. I mean, I don't really know why I need that in the first place, but it's all good. It's all good. Sorry I don't have anything more exciting playing in the background either. Just me and Elmo screwing around at VIR. Alright, well, it's 5:35. I haven't seen viewership change at all. So, I'm sure there's maybe more people here than before, maybe not. I don't trust Twitch. But I'm gonna go right into this presentation here. Let's see, bada boom. Let me see. Make sure this is all running good. My computer fan is still going nuts though. But it hasn't dropped any frames or anything at all, so it's supposed to be quieting down. Alrighty, let's go ahead and begin. Today it's only going to be Hoonigan, who also judges with me, at least for battles. He's not online. He's got other engagements and everything. Same thing with the other guy that's usually here, Saucy, is our tech manager. This one's going to be short. There's a lot less that I have to talk about. It's all Tandem related stuff, all lobby related stuff. You guys have already done qualifying, so there's, I don't have to go into that kind of detail with track stuff. We're going to go into the schedule for the week, or for the weekend. We did the week. We'll go over the track stuff. And then at the end, I'll open it up to any questions that you might have. Obviously, we don't have everybody in here. But I will be archiving this and uploading it immediately to our YouTube as soon as this is over. And I'll have that link on the forum so that anybody that misses this can go ahead and watch this over again and catch up on what they missed. Because I had a lot of people I had a lot of people in the last round tell me, "Oh, I didn't know that. I wasn't at the meeting." It's like, well, I saved it and archived it for people to watch later. So I'm gonna do that again, and hopefully everybody will get a chance to know what's going on. And if you have any further questions, if you're watching this in post and you have questions, just feel free to message me or DMA Hoonigan, or actually only us two. That's fine. Schedule for tomorrow. Same thing as that we did for Lime Rock. Heat A, which is the top of our bracket, will go at 3. Heat B 350. Heat C at 440 and Heat D at 530. Because of the amount of people that we have, especially in Heat A, we only have one first round battle to do. So that's probably going to get pushed back a tiny bit, probably starting around 3:30. Give us more of a chance to set up and know what we're doing. And give everybody that's in Heat A a little bit more practice time. Things should go, I think there were 2 people in each heat that got a bye. So with not counting the first one, Heat A having 3 people ahead buys. So the day is gonna move really fast. It's gonna move. We're gonna try and keep it at the same pace as last time, and last time we were a little ahead. And I'd like to push things. I'd like to move things around, but it's really hard to do that on the fly at this point. We're gonna stick to the schedule as much as we can, and I'll be updating you guys throughout the day should that change. We'll take a look at the bracket real quick. This will be posted later as well. Heat A is going to be Gain Speed, Savaho, X28, Keisuke, and Rocket Bunny. As you can see at the top of that bracket, unless you can't see that because it's kind of small. Savaho and X28 that'll be the first battle up, and then Keisuke, Rocket Bunny, and then we'll do the winner between Savaho and X28 and Gained. And that's basically how the rest of these lobbies are going to work out. You see the next set with Akihiro and Jamaican Boy there. Those 2 sets will be part of Heat B. That's how that'll work out. And you all should have received messages from me saying which heat you're in and whatnot, and you'll be able to... I'll be putting up a higher resolution picture of this bracket later on so that you can get a good idea of who you're facing and what your end of the bracket looks like. Going to the track real quick. I think most of this is really straightforward. As far as tire warm up, anywhere a good space behind grid, which of course is a start finish line there, is totally okay for a tire warm up. Either that or somewhere on the track that isn't this area here that's on this map, further on down the circuit in either direction is totally okay as long as you follow the rules and getting back to grid. And you are able to communicate with the other drivers easily. Should there be multiple people in other places around the track. If you are not battling and you need to move around the circuit, please keep your traffic to the east side. And I know that I cropped off the compass here to tell you what side that is. It'll be basically this patch of grass, this area here, which I will talk about. This is where the spectator zone is going to be. Make sure you just stick on this side of the track and don't cross over. There should be no one around on this bank or in this grass patch here. The only people that could be allowed over there is anybody that's doing media, and they cannot move across the track once they're there. When there are people running on the layout and you need to get to grid, basically follow the grass patch back and then just hit pit lane and run through the pits. It'll take you out back to where tire warm up and grid is, and just pull left out of there. That way we don't have the same stuff at Lime Rock. The same reason why I had you guys go in one direction around the track is the same thing. Just use pit lane to return to grid. Otherwise, drive all the way around the track. Though just using pit lane is easier in the situation where you're like the next battle up or whatever I need you. If you are not battling and you want to watch, the area that I want you to be in is where that spectator zone is labeled right there. And make sure you are well off the grass. Reason being, as you all should know, you carry a lot of speed through here. And should there be a situation where someone washes out, there's a possibility they can fly off the track this way. So that's why I want you guys to stay more towards the end of the layout and not be parked over here. I don't expect people to come flying off and go all the way to the wall or anything. I just rather not even have that be something that could happen. And from there, when you're called to battle, of course, like I said, pull through the grass, go to pit lane. And that'll return you to the start-finish line there. Same old stuff from Lime Rock. If the only time that you can drive backwards through the circuit is if you just finished a competition run. Otherwise, like I said, use the lane, stay low, hit the grass, pit lane. If you're battling, drive backwards through the circuit, go back to start finish line, no big deal. Same as, what you would do normally. And okay, that last thing, don't listen to this last thing. Always, after every single competition run you take, return to grid immediately. Just because we don't know if we sit there and take a long time to figure out what the call is, and then we decide it's a one more time and we need you back. We don't want to sit there waiting for you to drive all the way back to the start finish line. Just by default, always, if you finish a battle run, go all the way back to grid, all the way back to start finish line. Always, always, always. The only time you wouldn't do that is if we tell you before you get there, yes, this person won or this person won. That's the only time that you can be like, oh, okay, like, whatever. But just always, just ingrain that in your head. Go back to grid. And then speaking of grid, as you guys already know, start finish line, the brick line there, that is our starting line. That's where I want you guys lining up. When it is your turn to battle, I need both guys to be on that line. The lead car will always be on the right. Chase car will always be on the left. If you like to initiate behind, like directly behind the other person, just make sure you're staggered, where the other guy's nose is a little bit ahead or whatever, and then, fall right in line right afterward. I just want it to be clear who's leading, who's following, and no crisscrossing and everything off the gate. And also, there was a lot of differences between ways people are initiating that I saw. In competition, when you line up, make sure, if you're leading, hug the wall on the right. That's where I want you to be. That's where you need to be. When you line up, you need to be hugging the wall on the right. If you want to initiate lower on the course, you need to, first of all, communicate to the chase car, the guy that's following you, that you are not going to be initiating high as normal. If you initiate in any other way that's not hugging the right, you need to make it clear to whoever's following you that that's what you're going to do. And if you don't, and you move across the racetrack to enter the way that you want to, and the chase car doesn't like it, he's allowed to restart by the timing pole there, by the end of the pace, until you guys can figure it out, of course. Of course, the pace roll ends at the timing pole, like I just said, so keep it around somewhere between 50 and 60 miles per hour until you hit the timing pole. I know almost everybody was doing that in qualifying, so I really don't feel like I have to say it. I really don't feel like everybody needs to be reminded of that, but there are obviously a few that did not utilize the pace roll in qualifying. So just needed to make that clear. If you're leading, make sure you keep it within 50 to 60 miles an hour so that the chase car has a chance to chase you. There are going to be 0 battles won on the straightaway. 0. Won or lost, I should say. With that being said, also, restarts. Please, if you are chasing and you don't like what the lead car's doing, if he takes off, if he drag races you, if he runs a line that you don't like, if there's something about it that you're not okay with, please just stop. If you stop before the timing pole, we are 100% going to call you guys back and restart. Always. You can call for a restart past that by just stopping. And we'll discuss it and whatever. The point at which you can no longer call for restart is the initiation point. I just can't stress, because people still do it. People still get beat off the roll, and then don't utilize a restart. They just drive through the track like it's no big deal. And really, we want you guys to win straight up. We don't want to see guys winning and losing on the straightaway. That's not drifting. I'm sorry. So please, if you're chasing and you do not like what the lead car does, just stop. Just stop. All right. And then of course, at the beginning and end of the run, as a default, just hug right and you turn left always. And that's per situation too. If there's a lot of traffic, just assume that you guys are good enough drivers. You know what you're doing. And then lastly, with this, no other driver, unless you're battling or on deck, you should not be in this area right here. If you're not battling and you're not the next battle up, you need to be well far away of grid. And then party stuff, which this could all... Hopefully, I can figure out my mic situation here before tomorrow's event so that I can make sure this is all run right. But basically, again, I have to bring it up when you guys are in a party together, all you drivers. Be courteous of each other. We're all here to have fun and compete in everything. Hang with our friends, meet new friends, all of that stuff. Just, let people be able to compete, basically. I've been so many times where we're doing an event and someone just starts talking in the middle of a competition run and somebody gets thrown off in a way. Like, it's happened in qualifying, it's happened in battles. Just be aware. You're going to know when people are driving, so just be kind. I think that's really the only thing here. And the only people that should be in the party are the people that we invite. Please don't just bring in your friends. Your friends want to watch or something. That's cool, but don't bring them in the party. Party is for business and business only, and inside jokes and stuff. That also. But no, don't bring random people into the party. And of course, us. That hasn't changed. I'm in charge of scorekeeping and executive stuff, party stuff, hopefully. Saucy watches over vehicle stuff. And then Hoonigan will be setting up the lobbies and be in charge of anyone doing media, which if you want to, we had one do media last round. He gave us a bunch of stuff, which was awesome. If you are a photographer, videographer, whatever, YouTuber, whatever, and you want to get replays, you're more than welcome. Just make sure you get a hold of Hoonigan beforehand and let him know that you want to be in all of the competition lobbies for the day. Come on, scroll. There we go. Judges are the same. Ignore the line angle style because that was different for qualifying. But it'll be us three again, most likely. Me for sure. Wanted, unless something drastic happens, he'll be there as well. And then Hoonigan will be there. He wasn't able to be here for qualifying, which is totally okay. We all have lives outside of this, so make stuff work. But he'll definitely be here tomorrow to be our third. Okay, then we'll get to the last thing here regarding the track. Of course, you've all hopefully already seen this map from the thread as far as where clipping points and everything. And I just want to go over it one more time along with tandem specific stuff. What we want to see you guys doing as a lead car is initiating wide and then coming in to IC1. And when I say wide, I mean hitting the grass patches that are out on the right side. I'm gonna try and pull. I had the video loaded the video that isn't a section video. Give me 2 seconds. I'll cue it up here. But you see this grass patch here that is right. This is what I mean by initiating wide. Just make sure you're out here when you're initiating, and then you're just gonna floor it straight into the inside. And I'm only bringing this up because I saw so many different initiation styles. Back. Coming after IC1, I really want you guys to be able to, like, especially the lead car, be able to hang it a little bit on that rumble that's out here. I know it's not a marked clipping point, but coming off and staying mid to shallow to hit this inside is not gonna fare. I mean, if you do that as a lead car, it's gonna look bad, and it's gonna look like, because we don't want you. God, I wish I had someone else here to speak this right, to reaffirm me. Basically, we don't want people to cheat line to gap the chase car. So as a lead car, if you can hang it wide on the transition, that would be better. And the chase cars need to be aware that this from IC1 into IC2, you need to drop about 20 to 30 maybe miles per hour, and that was a really fast guesstimate. But there's gonna be a lot of slowing down through that zone. So it's a good place if you lose ground through IC1. It's a good place to make a lot of it up, but you just need to be careful about how much ground you're making up, how fast. I have a growing feeling that a lot of the battles are going to be decided there on that transition. And in saying that, when it comes to brake checking and everything, it's going to be hard to say. None of you guys are like brake checkers in the first place. Like, I probably shouldn't even be talking about this, but everybody slows down differently. Some do it with angle, some do it with e-brake. You need to just be aware, because that could hurt you. Filling OC1 and OC2, really important as a lead. The reason why it's set up as outsides instead of insides, I shouldn't say that. The reason why the last three are outsides are to keep tandems close. If you, as a lead car, cheat on those clips and end up pulling gap, it may be weighed negatively against you. That's not what we want to see. We want to see you hang it out wide, hit both outsides, and finish the run with a lot of angle. And I can't fucking talk. However, if you're a chase car through that zone, you can cheat line just a little bit to maintain proximity to the lead car. That's totally okay. It's the reason why those are outsides, is so that the chase car can stay closer. As far as the wall tap on OC3 goes, with it being the invisible wall that it is, and in the nature of the wall that it is, we know that if you, like, 8 times out of 10, hitting that is going to bring the front end around a little bit. We're perfectly aware that basically how we're going to know that the run ends. If you don't hit the wall, it'll end at that white line, and that's where we stop judging things. But if you do hit it, basically it'll say, okay, run's over then, right there. The only time that wouldn't signal us to end the run is if you hit it and then the front end came around and you slammed into the front end of your car into the wall. That'd be if there was like a catastrophic failure that resulted from your wall tap, That'd be the only way that we would. Um, that'd be the only way that we would count anything past OC3. As a chase car, you need to stress it just as much as the transition. Be aware, if you see the lead car go high and go for the wall, and he taps it, that back end's gonna come out. If you're someone like me that doesn't care and wants to run it down and see what happens, and then push the lead car through the finish line, there's a huge risk reward thing. If you stay back, shut down normally, put up a decent chase, then good job. We're not gonna hit you for that, But if you risk reward, if you try and just ride him all the way out the wall, and you can pull it off without killing you or the other driver, then you're probably gonna walk away with the advantage there. But if you attempt it and kill yourself or the other driver, then that's 100% your fault. It'll be really hard because if there is going to be contact with a wall, it's going to be bang bang. So it's going to be really hard to differentiate fault. And more likely than not, if you're aggressive and you're on top of them, it's probably going to end up being against you. So it's up to you to decide how you want to chase guys through that last corner. If you're facing a guy go for it. But I highly suggest, if it's someone that you've never tandemed with before or never battled against before, don't do anything stupid, basically. And then no passing zones. No passing zones. There's not a single place on this track that you can pass, and I'll be like, okay, nice job. And I mean, it goes without saying, if someone goes, 2 or 3 off and flies off the track, well, yeah, you can pass. Like, don't worry about it. I just don't want people to go into IC1 with their just mindset on, I'm going to pass this dude because I know he washes out a tiny bit. I don't want that happening. The track is wide enough that you can follow a multitude of different lines. And if the lead car does take you on an interesting journey that is offline or off track, and you chase him through that, you chase him through that, you're not going to be penalized. I want to make that really clear. Chasing a bad line is not going to hurt you. Like I said, with the ladder prior being all outsides, if you're passing, you're doing something wrong. And reiterating it one more time, please use the restarts. If you don't like what the lead car is doing, don't do the run. I can't stress that enough. That's all I have. If you guys have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer. But I think it's pretty straightforward. Again, rubble chips are all okay. They're counted as racing surface, so you don't need to worry about them. Plus, if you get too much of them, they could spin you around anyway, and you'll get faulted for that. So, those of you that were here for the qualifying stream, I did mention I know this was supposed to be our last preseason thing, but we recently have thought of a new way of doing things, as we usually do. We may take a test drive of this new style that we want to try, and I'll give you guys more info on that when we decide whether or not we want to go for it. Give us a little bit more time for questions. Like I mentioned this earlier, I'll have all of I'm gonna make a PDF printout of the full score sheet that we used. I'll have that link posted somewhere for you. As well as a bracket too. Let's see. When you say hanging out wide, between IC1 and IC2. Let me go back to the map here real quick. Because I know what you're saying, but I don't see what you're saying. IC1 to IC2. Yes. I don't mean like. Let me pull up the video, which would be better. Because clicking over a PowerPoint map is not the same. What I mean is, like, through this section here, we're both hugging this rumble strip on the left still. And I think Mav's going to go a little bit on top of it. But basically, through that, you just want to make sure you stay... You know, you're not just hanging out in the middle of the track. We'd rather see the lead car closer to this side so that the chase has more room to make up ground. If the chase is on top of lead, then you should be there anyway. But that's just what I mean. Like I said, it's not a... I mean, Mav's he's way off IC2. So this is why I said it's not a section video. But yeah, basically just on the transition, stay out here more. The more I say this, the worse I'm going to say it. So I'm sure you get the idea from that. Oh, God. I'm glad you asked that, though. I wanted to double check that anyway. And then I just want to, I'm waiting to see if we have any more questions here. I want to give it about another minute or two. Again, communication is key. I know you guys are competing against other people and everything, but we should all be friends here. So communication is really important. If you're gonna do something different through the run, if you're gonna do something different from what I have outlined here, what you've seen in qualifying at this point from other drivers, just make sure it gets communicated. Like mistakes are one thing, but like if you know you're going to be initiating at a different point, just go ahead and let the chase car know or whatever. And will there be strippers? I don't want to answer that, actually. I don't want to answer that. OC2 on OC2 wants to run the outside rumble. I want you to do what sets you up the best for OC3 on OC2. That's how this track works. Depending on how your car is set up, I guess. You should still be running like the racing line outside to like the apex, like apexing at where that rumble strip is, hanging out there on the corner. That's where you should be. It's not a clipping point. It's not something that I'm going to say, hey, you have to be there or else you're going to get marked off. It's just the outsides are the key to keep tandem close and everything. So I don't mean like get out there and then just like e-brake grab for days and go hot boy, but just make sure like hitting both outside clips through that last corner is like more important than hitting inside one or hitting the apex of that. The patch of grass. No, that's what I was just saying. Just the two outsides are the important parts. The proper line should have you apexing at that rumble that's floating out there. But if you hit both zones, if you hit both outsides and you don't necessarily get the inside right, and it's all fluid, okay, you're not going to get penalized for that. I apologize if I like somehow contradicted myself, by the way, because I just talk sometimes, like just talk. But I know what I'm trying to say all the time. So I'll just leave this map up here in case there's any more questions about the track and you need a visual aid. Give you guys another minute and a half, 2 minutes. Any more questions? Bada-boo. Yeah, 41. Okay. Boop-a-doo. Sorry, I'm being boring. I have no friends. Oh, it's easier when Tyra and I can go back and forth and spout shit at each other. Alright, well, if you guys don't have any more questions, I'm going to go ahead and shut this down for the day. If you have... Shadow slide. Rip in peace. If you have any more questions, don't hesitate to message me. Don't invite me to a party. I had like way too many people doing that. If you have quick questions, just send me a message. Post it on the thread. Although the thread I can't update a whole lot. Just because it's really slow to update on my computer for some reason. But yeah, feel free to message me on Xbox. I'll be getting on soon to do some other stuff. So, otherwise, I'll be uploading this a second and giving everybody scores and stuff. And if I don't see you tonight, I'll see you guys tomorrow.